Hello y'all on YouTube, this is Rob with Rob's Nerdy Knives. Today I have a very special unboxing, something that came in through the pass around I'm a part of, and I don't really know which one this is. So let's take a look together. I'm sure it's something amazing. Today I'm opening up with my Berg Blade Sweeney. An awesome little knife right here. That's a top flipper, front flipper, and it's got a thumb hole. It's just fun to open. They still have some of these available. I can't recommend this knife enough. I think it's amazing. So you should go check it out. All right, so let's see what we've got here. All right. American Blade Works. Oh, I think I know what this is. This is one of those knives I've always wanted to check out. Oh my goodness, it's got a little flint on there. All right, let's see. This is gonna be pretty cool. It is an American Blade Works knife. I have always wanted to try one of these guys. Made in the USA, Magna Cut, milled pocket deep carry clip, and Ultem scales, which is kind of cool. Nice texture on there. American Blade Works logo, captive pivot, a big giant, that looks like a T10 or T15 screw there. These look like T8s probably. Yeah, maybe T8s. I don't think they're T6s. I'm curious. I just want to check it out. This is a T8 right here. Pretty sure these are T8s. No, maybe it's a T6. Here's a T6. Okay, T6s. But that pivot screw, it doesn't look like a T8. But I'm going to try it. Yeah, it's way too big. All right, so let's see. Is it possibly because I have a T15? Yeah, it's a T15. All right, cool. It's a nice, giant, big pivot screw. That's really cool. All right, so that's a really cool clip. This has been passed around in the pass around group. I think this is part of Kevin from Lefty EDC, who's allowed us to check this out. Very, very cool. You can definitely see that. Looks like maybe a little oil or something in there. Is that what that is under there? Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and flip this. Got some jimping on the flipper. Looks like it's a flipper only, but looks like you could possibly maybe do a middle finger flick. We'll try that in a second, but let's take a look. All right, this is a warning. Ooh, it's a dirty blade. So let's clean that off real quick. I think somebody used it last and didn't get a chance to clean it off. So what I typically do, I find just putting a little bit of drop of oil on there. I use a little bit of the nano oil, work that in. Okay, kind of loosens up the stuff on here. And that way I'm not going to get real close to the edge. I always pull away so I don't get that on me. Okay, let's wipe that right off. Yeah, that was a pretty dirty blade there. Okay, somebody definitely was doing some testing on that for sure. All right, so it's Magna Cut. It's got that milling pattern that they do. It looks like it's kind of a step process. Some jimping up there. Definitely have a place for your finger. Can definitely choke up if you wanted to. You've got a little finger guard there, but you've got pretty good clearance. You can pinch grip, like Tri-State from EDC says, all day long, right? Pretty robust blade here. Comes to a very nice thin grind. Very thin at the edge. Feels pretty sharp, nice flat. And I would call this probably a worn Cliff because it's flat. Sheep's foot tend to have a little belly, more bow to it. Then you have the scales here. Looks like, I wonder if that's steel liners. Is that steel or T? Yeah, so it looks like, okay, so it's probably titanium clip, steel liners. Okay, so titanium clip, which is where I think these are actually not, they're pretty reasonably priced if you can find them. The problem is they go pretty quick. You've got a nice cutout relief to get to the lock bar. This is a liner lock. Definitely a good 50% lockup, pretty solid. Let's see any blade rock. No, it's in there really good. Let's drop it and see how it falls. All right, so it's a nice, it is definitely like a drop shut, right? I mean, not drop shut, it's a shake shut. So you got to shake it a little bit once you disengage that. Now, it is a steel bar. I'm pretty sure, was that a steel bar? Yeah, it's a steel bar. So it's got a little stick to it, and I don't know if that's just because, whatever, maybe because it's been in there for a while, but it is a little sticky there, which is kind of interesting. Yeah, got a little lock stick going on there, which I wouldn't expect with steel on steel. So I don't know if it needs to be carbonized or was carbonized or what have you, but excuse me, sorry, a little late in the day here. But, ooh, okay, so got detent ball. You clear that right here, but it still wants to push back up. Okay, so you're free and clear about right there. So that means I've got to get that to all the way down here to make sure I'm free and clear first. Okay, the flipper works really nicely, that's for sure. Let's see, can we do the middle finger reverse flick? Yep, we absolutely can. So that means we can do left-handed flip, drop it. Let's see, can we do left-handed middle finger reverse flick? Yep, absolutely. So we have kind of a dual deployments, which is really cool. So American Blade Works, the Ultem scale's nice and rounded all the way across. I like the full back spacers, got some jimping on there. So if you're trying to do like a pull cut, or if you're doing like a push cut, you can grip on here. So you can, like if you're pushing into some hard plastic leather or something like that, or you're pulling through something heavy like that, you can absolutely do it. It's just kind of fortunate. It does have a little lock stick on there, and I don't know if it's because it's dirty or what. Let's clean that off. Let's see if it's just a little dirty or what have you. Sometimes we can put a little bit of, you know, graphite or something on there if it's got a little stick. So I have some stuff that I could probably use that I have a Factor and some STFE or something like that, I think. It's kind of like, it's better than using lead from a pencil, okay? So sometimes when you have, it sticks a little bit. When I first got my TRM Atom, it had a little bit, it was a little sticky because it is titanium on steel, but they carbonized it, but it was still a little sticky at first, and I put a little bit of graphite on there from the pencil, and it worked its way out really nicely. So not quite drop shut, which, you know, if it was my knife, I might tune it, but it's not my knife, so I don't get to take it apart, do anything to it whatsoever. This is just a cool experience. I get a chance to try it out. Yeah, it's dead nut centered. Very nice. Let's see, I don't know if I checked for blade rock. No blade rock. Let's see. How's it click into the detent? Okay, good, solid. Any detent lash? Nope. And no pivot lash? Nope, it's good. Very cool. That's really nice. That's a good experience. I mean, I like the blade shape. You can definitely, so I have large hands, definitely have a little room, so extra large if you choke up, which is very reasonable to choke up. I think you can safely choke up as long as you use jimping, keep your hand back. You can have a whole lot more room in there, right? So that's kind of cool. I like that. Very, very neat. I like the clip. Let's see here. It's got some good flexibility. Let's look at that ramp. Ooh, it's a little steep on the outside. I wonder how it is. It looks like it'd be easy going in, right? But it might be a challenge to get out because that's a pretty flat surface. If you hit that flat surface, you got some thick jeans. That's a lot to overcome. So I'd have to try that out and see if that gets stuck in your pocket. Especially if some of the material were to bunch up, it could get really snagged behind of that. That would be unfortunate. Then you might get frustrated and bend the clip trying to get it out. So depending on the task that you're doing and how quickly you wanted it out. So it is reversible. So it's left hand, right hand carry. So right now it's right hand tip up. You could reverse it for left hand tip up. That's really cool. It's got some, like I said, pretty robust blade to it. Looks like it's going to be 0.12 to 0.14 kind of inches thick. It's nice and rounded all the way across here. These edges are all chamfered and rounded, nothing sharp to dig into. Let's do a squeeze test. Yeah, we're good there. Squeeze test over here. We're good there. That's nice. So it's nice and clear. You're not gonna have a lot to reach into. I think this might be the Model 1. I know there's like Model 2, Model 3, I think. I don't know the whole thing about American Blade Works. Never owned one. This is the very first knife I've ever experienced from them. And I will learn a little bit more about them, but very cool. Now, let's listen to that detent. I don't know if we did that already, but it doesn't sound real crisp, but it definitely goes in. It's a little soft thud, if you will, but the flipper is pretty good. Let's see here. I got to make sure you get down low enough. Can you fail that? Yeah, you can fail it but you have to try. Just even a light flipper flick. I'll just do this lightly. Yeah, it's still going to pop out pretty good. Yeah. So the reason why is you got the pivot here. Here's the center of your pivot, right? So it's the center of your you know, your whole circular angle, and here's the pivot, and it's definitely even, if not just a bit higher, and that gives you better leverage to deploy the blade. It gives you a little more strength transfers into the actual, excuse me, foot of the blade. So that's really cool. Oops, and I just slipped my finger right off. Even though there's jimping there, if you just use the very tip, there's not jimping on the very tip, so it could slide off there. But if you get it in there pretty flat, I can do a push button and I can do the full light switch. Light switch seems to give a little more power than just a push button. Very cool. It is a very unique knife. Very cool experience. I like it. It's USA made. I hadn't tried it yet, and it's MagnaCut, so it's got some definite possibilities and some interesting things about it that I think is worth checking out. And I've always wanted to try it to see, you know, is this any good? I like it. I like it a lot, and I still like that kind of pattern. The way they milled a blade, you can see the step of the milling there. That's kind of cool. It's on both sides of the blade. It's not just one side. So you know that's intentional on when they mill it. So there you go. T15 right there. Nice big pivot screw. And I like the milling on there. You can actually see this kind of machined in there with that. That's really cool. Hardly anything on here. It says MagnaCut. I'm fine with that. That's pretty minimal. It's not like a whole bunch of signage on there. I think that's really, really nice. Let's get a little close up on the blade. Make sure you get a nice focus. Let's look at the handle. Let's look at the other handle. Now the thing about seeing through this, you can see, I think there's some oil that got in there, and that's oil that's on the inside of the liner. So to clean that, you'd have to take it apart. And that's why you don't want to always maybe put too much oil on there, I think. But that's very cool. Yeah, that's very cool. There's some holes there. I don't know if that's weight relief or what the purpose of those holes are. Maybe they're meant to hold it in place when they're doing the drilling and stuff like that for tolerances. Keep the tolerances tight. Definitely functional jimping. It's not overly aggressive, but it does keep your thumb in place. And it's wide enough that you're a good spot. Definitely could do some hard use with this. I like that. I like that a lot. I think that's definitely a plus. It's very smooth. It almost feels like washers, even though I think it's cage ceramic ball bearings. Yes, it is. So I was looking in there to look for cage ceramic ball bearings. I can see that. I can see some of the balls in there. Yeah. So cage ceramic ball bearings. It's a little stiff. Again, I think that's because it's a stronger detent on this thing. Now, I don't know what a lighter detent would work. Stronger detent works, especially if it's a flipper only, right? If it's a top flipper, you definitely want to lighten it up, but this works. Let's see, I did this earlier. I'll make sure I can still do it. Oh, there we go. All right, so for this to work with a middle finger flick, I just got to get a little lower, and then it's fine. If I go too high, I can't get enough leverage on there. Yeah, low is fine. So very cool. That is neat. That is neat. I would be very curious to figure out what the Rockwell hardness, if it's, you know, up in the 62 to 63 range or higher, maybe 63 to 64, that'd be cool. But I will find that out, I guess, when I do the review, look it up and find out. But it's a very cool little knife. I like the Ultem scale. It's different. Excuse me. If I was to do a knife without titanium, I think I would very, very much want to do some carbon fiber or possibly Ultem. Ultem looks really cool. It's very tough. Some people will call it like, you know, it looks like, you know, crystallized pea or something, but it's not. It's a much stronger material than G10 or FRN, or even, I think Benchmade has what they call Elite G10. It's kind of a little upgraded version of G10, but this is way better than that. This actually can handle high heat. It's supposed to be very strong, very resistant to chipping and all sorts of stuff. So very cool knife. Very, very cool knife. I'm glad I got a chance to experience this. Hey, if you have any questions about the knife or the review, please feel free to comment down below. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to have a chance to answer those questions. I do enjoy that part of talking to you guys in the comments and on the live streams. To me, that's a lot of fun. And that helps me to learn more about knives and learn more about things that matter in knives to myself and to other people, because I learn from you guys. So thank you. I appreciate that. Appreciate that opportunity. Hey, if you found this content fun, interesting, worthwhile, entertaining, or informative, would you please consider hitting the like button down below? I would very much appreciate that. And if you've already hit that like button, maybe consider hitting the subscribe button down below. That way you can subscribe to the channel and, you know, figure out, you know, get more information, learn about more stuff, right? If you've already both subscribed and liked the video, maybe consider hitting the notification button so you can be notified of future content so you don't always have to go look for it. And if you've done all that, it would be really awesome if you maybe consider checking me out over on Instagram at robs_nerdy_knives on Instagram. Again, that's robs_nerdy_knives. Hey, thanks so much for watching today. Have a great day and a great week. Bye.